Hello friends, I'm making this video for you today with a voiceover. The original video is just me being silent. You'll get to hear the sounds of the unboxing. This is one of those Galaxy Sparkle Blue female Kit Kat clocks that I bought. I guess it was a little bit on sale. She's coming out of the box for the first time. And what we're gonna do is half of my conversion that I posted about. We're leaving the original factory clock movement alone. And I'm saying that now only because I decided to. I think they decided to while I was filming the video. I think that they may have changed the movement to something a little more robust because it looked on the back just like my Amazon movements that I got. And those things are insanely cheap. You get like 6 or 7 of them, plus a whole bunch of hands, hour, minute, second hands, most of which are kind of silly and old school looking. Old school, not in a good way. Plus the movements, you get it for like 12, $13. Here, what I'm doing is unscrewing the retention clip machine screw, the retention clip for the pendulum, and it's tiny. And that little screwdriver that I have is a Craftsman precision screwdriver. It's got the sharpest tip of any screwdriver I have, and I have a lot of precision sets. That's the retention clip, and you can see the pendulum sitting there. Now, these are some neodymium magnets. Everything I have is from Amazon. I'm using the little rectangular ones rather than the round ones, and these are pretty small. When I first did this, I used magnets that were too big, and I think they actually changed the weight of the pendulum. So you want to go small, and I've got smaller ones on, I think, my red clock. There's lots of videos on this, so I won't get too deeply into the explanation, but what you see me fiddling with is making sure the magnets are attached to the pendulum with opposite poles. Too big of a magnet and they can't sit next to each other with opposite poles. They'll just attract each other and it won't work. They'll also be heavier. All right, so what we're going to do next is snap out. There it is. Snap out the pendulum and battery holder. And this one popped out easy. I've struggled in the past. Still had to apply a lot of pressure. Now those yellow wires, I'm going to get my cutters. We're going to snip those. Those are the wires that share power from the pendulum mechanism to the clock movement. And what you end up with is an underpowered pendulum mechanism and an overvoltage clock. So after I snip these, and you can see the body language of my hands, I'm like, can't wait to snip them and just get rid of them because it's such a bad idea. Now, what's the downside of all this? Yeah, if you want to replace the movement battery, you have to pop out the pendulum and C battery holder. Yeah, that was it when I just kind of waved my hand like that. But again, this one popped out super easy. I've struggled in the past, but you got to use some force. Now there are blobs of cold solder in the clock movement, but you can hear the battery snapping in okay, so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to run it for a while, see how it keeps time. But I have a feeling they're using better movements now. Now I am putting back in the C battery holder and the pendulum mechanism. And it looks like they kind of redesigned the battery holding clips because these grab onto the double A's just fine. I did not have to bend the bottom tabs. They've even got these little semicircles molded in the plastic in the shape and size of a C battery, but they do support the double A okay. So I'm just fiddling with it to make sure that the battery's making good contact here. And there's an edit. I walk away. I think I'm going to get my hot glue gun, yeah. Now you might wonder why I start reassembling the pendulum mechanism before putting a couple blobs of hot glue in there. Well, I want to make sure that everything sits right, it's plumb, it's flush, etc., etc. The neodymium magnets I added to the pendulum are going to be okay. And fortunately, everything is. The stalks on the eyes go inside. I don't know why they give you those extra clips up top. And the lighting's not great, so I'm fiddling with the pendulum retaining clip, but I get it in the right way the first time. Don't put this thing in wrong, and don't force it for sure. Sometimes I put a little bit of clock oil on the pendulum mechanism, but I'm not here because this is right out of the box. I mean, I guess this is an unboxing video as well as a modification video. Screwing the pendulum retainer clip screw back in again with that super sharp Phillips Craftsman precision screwdriver. And I'm putting the back cover on. Again, haven't put the hot glue in yet. If there were C batteries in there, they would make everything fall off without the hot glue, but the double A's, they're light enough. Another reason I think they changed the clock movement is because it looks like it has a shaft for a second hand, and the hour and minute hands pop off very, very easily. Now I struggle a little getting the tail back on the pendulum. I don't know why. I think it's a tighter fit. This is the first clock I bought in a while. I'm sure they're constantly improving their manufacturing process. And I hold it up here just to show you that without even a nudge, because the power's right, because of the magnets, it just wants to start animating. I didn't give it a push or anything. I think I'm going to pop the back off and put a couple blobs of hot glue now that the glue gun is heated up. You'll see that the threads you end up with when you try to pull the gun away from a blob that you want to sit in place, they get on the pendulum. So I spend a second or two making sure that those threads of hot glue are not going to affect anything. I don't know. I should have gone all the way around. And I only put a little bit on. Again, it's just to hold it there because you've broken the factory glue bonds and you don't want the whole pendulum mechanism to back out or fall off. Yeah, I'm getting the threads of hot glue out of there. Feels silly for that. These needle nose and blades and picks and everything, I didn't need them to pull the pendulum assembly out of there. It just popped off with a good tug. Your mileage may vary. Putting it back up, you can see it's already keeping time. It's a little past the noon that I set it at. And again, just holding it up, I'll show you how it wants to animate it without any push from me. I think I go hanging on a wall. I got a bunch of random thrift store clocks hanging in the laundry room. There it is. You can hear it. Its animation is strong. Be brave. Good luck.